Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the bloodiest, creepiest, and most ambitious found footage horror anthologies of the 2010s, VHS 2 2013. This movie cranks everything up from the first VHS, more gore, more chaos, more variety, and a kill count that's absolutely wild. If you're new here, we break down horror movies from the outside in, looking at the setting, characters, atmosphere, performances, the kills, and the lasting impact. VHS 2 is perfect for this because each segment has its own unique style, but they all come together to form one unforgettable nightmare. So grab your camcorder, lock the doors, and get ready, because we're counting down every kill in VHS 2. Legacy of VHS. Before we dive into the sequel, let's rewind a bit. The original VHS 2012 was a scrappy, raw anthology horror film built around the concept of cursed VHS tapes. A group of petty criminals stumbles upon a collection of tapes that each hold terrifying found footage stories. The movie had a lo-fi, grimy energy that made it stand out, even if not every segment hit perfectly. But it set the stage for something bigger, and that's where VHS 2 comes in. Released just 1 year later, the sequel brought in new directors, more ambitious stories, and a faster pace. Fans generally agree it's one of the best entries in the series, with segments that remain iconic in horror circles. Framing story. Tape 49. Every anthology needs a framing device, and here we get Tape 49. The story follows two private investigators, Larry and Aisha, who break into a college student's house to track him down for his mother. Inside, they find piles of VHS tapes, and of course, they start watching them. This setup is simple but effective. Each time they play a tape, we dive into a new horror story. Meanwhile, creepy things start happening in the house, blurring the line between the tapes and reality. From a kill count perspective, this framing story doesn't rack up numbers right away. But it's important because it connects all the chaos together. And by the end, it gives us a chilling payoff that proves the tapes aren't just stories. They reoccur. Phase 1 Clinical Trials. Our first main segment is Phase 1 Clinical Trials, directed by Adam Wingard. It follows a man named Herman who undergoes experimental surgery to get a cybernetic eye implant after an accident leaves him blind in one eye. The implant records everything he sees, basically turning his vision into found footage. But soon after the surgery, Herman realizes he's not just seeing the living, he's seeing the dead. This segment plays like a haunted house ride, with ghosts appearing in the corner of the frame, shadows moving, and jump scares that get more aggressive. He meets a woman who has a similar implant in her ear, allowing her to hear the dead. Together, they realize they've been turned into experiments for supernatural observation. The kills here are brutal. Herman is attacked by spirits, dragged around, and left in a state of pure terror. The final moments leave no doubt. The implant didn't just restore his sight. It opened the door to a nightmare. Kill count. Herman himself, plus multiple implied ghost victims. The body count isn't huge, but the horror impact is strong. A ride in the park. Next up is one of the most fun and surprisingly tragic segments. A Ride in the Park, directed by Eduardo Sanchez and Greg Hale, best known for the Blair Witch Project. The story follows a mountain biker named Mike, who straps a GoPro camera to his helmet for a ride in the woods. Everything seems normal until he stumbles upon a woman who appears to be injured, but it's a trap. She's infected and she bites him. From here, the segment flips the script. We see the zombie apocalypse unfold entirely from Mike A.'s POV as he turns into one of the undead. The GoPro gives us a horrifyingly immersive view of his hunger, attacks, and destruction. Mike joins a group of zombies, and together they crash a child's birthday party. The carnage is insane. Parents torn apart, kids screaming, blood everywhere. But here's the twist. Some tiny part of Mike's humanity remains. After seeing the devastation he's caused, he uses his last shred of willpower to put a gun to his head and end it. Kill count. This segment racks up a big number, with the birthday party massacre alone giving us a pile of bodies. But Mike's self-inflicted death is the most memorable, showing that even in a sea of gore, there's still room for tragedy. Safe haven. And now we arrive at the crown jewel of VHS 2, Safe Haven. Directed by Timo Tchajanto and Gareth Evans, the latter known for The Raid, this segment is legendary. It's chaotic, disturbing, and one of the scariest anthology shorts ever made. The story follows a documentary crew who gains access to a secluded Indonesian cult compound. They're there to interview the leader, a charismatic man who preaches about salvation. At first, everything seems eerie but manageable. The cultists are strange but cooperative. Then, the ritual begins. What starts as a quiet interview spirals into absolute chaos. The cult leader signals the start of an apocalyptic ceremony, and the compound erupts in violence. Followers commit mass suicide, gunmen attack, and supernatural horrors are unleashed. The kills here are staggering. People stabbing themselves, gunfire everywhere, explosions, and finally the summoning of a literal demon. One of the most unforgettable shots is the demon's bloody birth, as a monstrous creature emerges from a woman's body. It's grotesque, shocking, and unforgettable. By the end, almost everyone is dead, except for one traumatized survivor, who the demon calls Papa. Chilling. Kill count. Off the charts. Dozens, maybe hundreds of deaths in just this one segment. The sheer scale makes it one of the bloodiest moments in the entire VHS franchise. Slumber Party Alien Abduction. Finally, we have Slumber Party Alien Abduction, directed by Jason Eisner, hobo with a shotgun. This one takes a lighter, almost mischievous tone, until it doesn't. The story follows a group of kids having a slumber party. They run around, prank each other, and generally act like obnoxious teenagers. One of them straps a camera to their dog, giving us a unique, low-to-the-ground perspective. But then the aliens arrive. Flashing lights, loud noises, and tall gray figures storm the house. The kids scream and scatter as the dog cam captures everything. The aliens abduct them one by one, dragging them into blinding beams of light. The most heartbreaking part? The loyal family dog, still strapped with the camera, tries to save the kids, but ends up drowning in a lake as the chaos continues. Kill count. The kids' fates are implied more than shown, but the emotional gut punch of the dog's death makes this one unforgettable. The framing story's dark end. Remember the investigators from tape 49? Their story continues between the tapes. Aisha slowly becomes more and more unnerved by what she's watching. Eventually, she's possessed by the influence of the tapes. In the climax, Larry realizes too late that the cursed VHS tapes aren't just stories, they traps. By the end, both investigators are dead, their bodies added to the endless cycle of cursed footage. It's a bleak reminder that nobody escapes the grip of these tapes. Kill count totals. Now, let's tally this nightmare up. Phase 1, clinical trials. 1 to 2 confirmed deaths, plus implied ghost victims. A ride in the park. At least a dozen kills, including Mike himself. Safe haven. Dozens upon dozens, possibly over 100 deaths during the cult massacre. Slumber Party Alien Abduction. Several implied kid abductions, plus the heartbreaking death of the dog. Framing story, tape 49. Both investigators meet their end. Overall, VHS2 racks up a massive body count, especially thanks to Safe Haven. While the exact number is hard to pin down, it's easily one of the bloodiest horror anthologies ever made. Performances and atmosphere. The acting across segments is surprisingly strong for an anthology. Herman's paranoia in Phase 1 feels raw. Mike's tragedy and ride in the park hits home. The cult leader in Safe Haven is terrifyingly convincing, And the kids in Slumber Party Alien Abduction feel like real kids, which makes their fate even harder to watch. Atmosphere-wise, the movie nails the lo-fi horror aesthetic. Each segment feels distinct. Haunted house, zombie outbreak, cult apocalypse, alien invasion, yet they all connect through the VHS framing. Why VHS2 stands out. Unlike many anthologies where some stories flop, VHS2 is remarkably consistent. Every segment has memorable scares and creative ideas. Phase 1, Clinical Trials, gives us cyber horror meets ghost story. A Ride in the Park redefines the zombie POV. Safe Haven is a mini masterpiece of cult horror. Slumber Party Alien Abduction mixes innocence with cosmic terror. Together, they make VHS2 not just a sequel, but a benchmark for modern horror anthologies. Conclusion. So what's the legacy of VHS2? It's one of the rare sequels that surpasses the original, delivering bigger scares, higher stakes, and an unforgettable kill count. It proved that the anthology format can be bold, experimental, and terrifying all at once. From haunted implants to zombie POVs, from cult massacres to alien abductions, VHS2 throws everything at the audience, and almost all of it sticks. The deaths aren't just numbers. They're creative, shocking, and often deeply disturbing. And that's why this kill count feels larger than life. At the end of the day, VHS2 isn't just a collection of horror shorts. It's a love letter to the extremes of the genre. Messy, chaotic, bloody, and unforgettable. So, what do you think? Which segment is your favorite? Was Safe Haven the scariest? Did the dog's fate in Slumber Party Alien Abduction break your heart? Drop your thoughts below, and let's talk horror. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more kill counts, horror breakdowns, and deep dives into the bloodiest corners of cinema. Because in the world of VHS2, once you hit play, you can never stop the tape.